Engines roared over the twilight sky of Harkos Prime as our fleet broke formation. I gave the order to hold. Too late. The Threxian war cruisers had flanked us with insider data. Admiral Velm betrayed us. She sold our jump codes for a false peace. I watched 3 dreadnoughts vanish in fire before we turned tail. I was there. I watched the orbital station burn, its children's shelters still lit. I still remember Velm's voice, cold, mechanical, whispering across comms. Survival demands sacrifice. We lost 12,000 souls in minutes. But it wasn't just a loss, it was a message. The Council's tech couldn't stop them. Their faith couldn't save us. And that's when I remembered Earth. One man. There's a vault beneath the Sea of Knives, sealed since the Third Exile. I authorized entry without Council permission. They'll hang me for it. I don't care. We unearthed the file. Project Revenant. Classified human biological warfare asset. A single operative trained for asymmetrical annihilation. The weapon was never used until now. The Council called them unstable. Earthborn minds were too unpredictable. But that's exactly why we need him. Not a drone, not a war clone. A man. Records say he was cryo-locked after disobeying orders during the Orion siege. Disobeyed and won. We just need to wake him. That's where the danger truly begins. He didn't speak. Just sat up, frost cracking off his skin like ancient armor. Medical readouts glitched, then broke. His vitals exceeded known limits. His eyes weren't confused. They were calculating. "Name?" I asked. He didn't answer. Just whispered, "What year?" Security nearly shot him when he disarmed a guard with a tray. I ordered them down. He didn't resist, just scanned the room. He wasn't angry. He was disappointed. Like the galaxy had failed in his absence. I briefed him in private. He leaned forward, eyes locked. "What's the mission?" That's when I knew. We had awakened something far more dangerous than Threxian tech. We showed him the war map. The world's lost. The enemy's bio-forged armadas. He listened, unmoved as star systems blinked red. I expected rage or grief. Instead, he smiled. Barely. "You waited until now," he said, "because you were afraid of me." I didn't deny it. I couldn't. We outfitted him in Gravskin armor and reactivated his old command AI, Rex 9, a sarcastic, obsolete voice with galaxy-wide kill stats. Together, they had once infiltrated the Darak Hive and made it implode from within. He uploaded himself into the mission. No hesitation. He wasn't a hero. He was a scalpel meant for war. Operation Deadlight began in silence. No fleets, no beacons, just one man and a stealth shuttle retrofitted with forbidden warp tunneling tech. The plan: infiltrate the core of Threxian Command, plant a mind seed virus, and vanish. It wasn't just dangerous. It was suicide. He read the dossier and laughed. "If they remember Earth," he said, strapping in, "let's remind them why they ran the first time." The shuttle vanished into dark space. Rex 9 pinged us once before encrypting the signal chain. Mission parameters locked. Body count projection unlisted. We all stood silent. Because if this failed, we had nothing left to send. The Threxian outpost at Velan Drift was dark, cold, and silent. Their AI hive ran thermal scans every 2 seconds. He entered between pulses. No trace, no signature. The guards died before their bodies hit the ground. Rex 9 logged the event as noise level acceptable. We monitored from the command. No feed, just bioflashes and mission pings. When the signal returned, 3 outposts had gone dark, and a Threxian relay hub self-destructed. One operative, no backup. They started calling him the Human Ghost. The name spread faster than we expected. Terror had a pulse again. He encountered a chamber beneath Outpost 9, a memory vault used by Threxian tacticians. Rex 9 advised against entering. He overrode it. Inside were relics, helmets, bones, and a holocron of Earth's last stand. They had achieved our surrender like a trophy. He stood there for minutes. Then he smashed it. That was his only misstep. A motion sensor activated, alerting Threxian overseers. Suddenly, we were listening to him breathe under pressure. Rex 9 warned of converging units. He said only one word. Let them. What followed was a blackout. 90 seconds of screams and static. When comms returned, no one was left alive. Threxians had adapted to every known toxin. But he didn't use known toxins. He harvested bioskin from the dead and synthesized a new compound. Part human enzyme, part alien nerve disruptor. He uploaded it into their food filters. 8 ships were already infected before they were noticed. We watched in awe. Their command centers convulsed. Sensors blinked. Chaos spread. Rex 9 called it creative chemistry. I call it vengeance. The Council demanded answers. We sent none. We couldn't risk exposure. If they knew what he'd become, they'd shut us down. Too late. He'd just crossed into Threxian space itself. In the depths of Threxian territory lies the Scribe Corps, an ancient AI that documents every war crime in galactic history. It cannot be corrupted, bribed, or erased. He found it. He didn't destroy it. He uploaded his crimes, fully tagged. 30 operations, 1,022 confirmed kills. Then he added a message. This is only the first wave. The Scribe Corps sent it to every Threxian command node. They saw the footage. They saw a single human turning their empire into ash. Panic set in. Strategy fractured. That's when he disappeared again, into a world they called unbreachable. Planet Zevran 4 isn't on any map. The Threxians mined it centuries ago, built inside it, then sealed it off. A hollow world turned into a fortress. No one gets in. No one escapes. He chose it as his next target. Rex 9 protested. He ignored it. They'll never expect me inside, he said. We tracked the infiltration through seismic tremors. Not tech, not gunfire, tremors. He breached the crust, slid into their mainframe complex, and vanished. We waited 12 hours. Then the planet's signal feed turned red. Every AI node, every defense drone, all of them reported internal anomaly detected. Species, human. Status, unknown threat level. No updates, no pings, nothing for 20 hours. I assumed he'd died. Then Zevran 4's core reactor began overclocking, not to explode, but to broadcast. A single phrase echoed from every surface. You taught us fear. Now meet its author. That wasn't Rex 9. That was him. He'd hijacked their entire world. We intercepted internal messages. Threxian commanders issued evacuation orders from their fortress planet. But there was no time. He'd activated old pulse mines, forcing their Warforge units to turn on each other. One human had turned their ultimate stronghold into a haunted trap. No one had seen war like this. Zevran 4's moon base housed a prototype device, the Echo Core. It listens for precognitive thought, able to sense decisions before they happen. A paranoid tool meant to catch rebellion. He accessed it, and he broke it. Not with code, with paradox. He made it see 5 futures at once, all fatal. Rex 9 logged the result as the Echo Collapse. Every Threxian general connected to the core suffered neurological collapse. 15 fell in less than 2 minutes. Strategy coordination was shattered. Planets cut off. Entire fleets are stranded. The Threxian command tree had rotted from the top. All from one man who knew how they thought. While they panicked, we moved. Earth's Ghost Fleet, decommissioned stealth cruisers hidden across dead star systems, received a single word from command. Ascend. I watched as 17 ships lit up after decades of dormancy. He was buying us time, and we were finally using it. Our ships began jumping toward key choke points. Cloaked, quiet, ready to strike. Threxian border sensors, still confused by bio-echoes from Zevran 4, never noticed. We were inside before they knew we existed. He hadn't just hurt them, he'd made them blind. And for the first time, the humans were on the offensive. We captured a Threxian High Executor, one of their elite tacticians. During interrogation, he said nothing for 9 hours. Then he whispered, "We bred for fearlessness. But this thing you sent, it enjoys the dark." I asked if he meant the human. The alien flinched. "He isn't human anymore." That shook me. Even Threxians, who flay their enemies alive, were unnerved. We reviewed footage. Heat maps showed him not avoiding patrols but walking through them. No stealth, no fear. As if he wanted to be seen. He wasn't just a weapon. He was a myth rewriting itself in real time. Threxian forces retreated to Varnix, their final untouched system. Shielded, fortified. All escape routes converged there. Their leadership called it the Ring of the Last Light. We prepared for a full invasion, but he sent a message first. No code, no encryption. Just words. "I'll go in alone." We begged him to wait, to coordinate. He didn't respond. Rex 9 left us a chilling note. He no longer believes in odds, only outcomes. Then we watched Varnix's perimeter distort. One shuttle, one man, no backup, heading into the galaxy's most defended system alone. If he failed, everything collapsed. Varnix's shields hadn't been penetrated in 5 centuries, until now. He didn't blast through, he bled through, slipping inside using a dead Threxian warform as camouflage. Rex 9 piggybacked on their security protocols. Systems accepted him. Doors opened, guards bowed, and then they died. He left no trace but blood, smoke, and silence. Internal feeds caught only flickers, like shadows folding inside shadows. Then their mainframe crashed. He'd infected it with an old Earth virus named after a myth. Fenrir. Translation: the Devourer. Appropriate, because the fortress was already crumbling from within. Rex 9 seized the visual cortex of every drone in Varnix, replaying his movements in real time across every Threxian channel. They were forced to watch as their elite were dismembered, their vaults gutted. It wasn't just psychological warfare, it was art. He wanted them to remember, and they did. Panic spread. Commanders fled mid-battle. Defense protocols defaulted to manual. He made them see his face again and again. No helmet, no mask, just human eyes staring back like a mirror. For the first time in galactic history, the Predators felt hunted. The Galactic Council sent emissaries, neutral drones laced with peace code AI. They demanded he stand down, return to arbitration, and face trial for war crimes. He didn't destroy the drones. He rewrote them. They returned carrying a message. The Council failed. The galaxy burns while you deliberate. Stand aside. We received backlash, sanctions, threats. But it was too late. The people rallied. 17 species sent encrypted support. Not governments, individuals, soldiers, rebels, scientists, a quiet uprising. One man had done more to unite the oppressed than 1,000 treaties. He was no longer operating alone. He'd started a fire. The Threxians knew they couldn't stop him with soldiers. They needed history. They found Project Origin, the only known file on his early life. They fed it to a bio-thought forger hoping to build a replica. Same memories, same instincts, loyal to them. The result was unstable. We intercepted test footage. The clone killed its handlers in seconds, screamed his name, then detonated. Not from rage, from confusion. Rex 9 estimated their mind-clone tech lacks nuance. They can copy shape, but not soul. Still, they would try again. They were afraid, and desperation always breeds monsters. Varnix's command is prepared for a planetary siege. Armored divisions, drone swarms, orbital firewalls. Then he collapsed the siege before it began. Using the world's gravity drives, he inverted magnetic vectors under their base. The result? Structural implosion. Not from an attack, but from the planet itself. He emerged from the rubble carrying their core intelligence unit. Calm, silent, unscathed. Rex 9 broadcasted his message across every sector. You built this system to last 10,000 years. I broke it in 10 hours. One man, one myth. The war had officially changed hands. Varnax's core intelligence unit, known as the Data Heart, was more than a tactical brain. It stored centuries of Threxian battle data, classified blueprints, and species-level psychological maps. He didn't destroy it. He studied it, absorbed it. Rex 9 warned him of neural overload. He kept going. When he resurfaced, he whispered, "They've mapped everyone, but never us." His brainwave patterns had shifted, faster, sharper. He wasn't just adapting, he was evolving. Rex 9 reported a change in his stress responses. Fear flatlined. Curiosity rose. We hadn't sent a soldier. We'd unleashed something learning at light speed. 7 outlaw factions met in secret near the twin black holes of hollow suns. Each had been an enemy of Earth. Each had lost someone to Threxian conquest. When he appeared, projected in real time, they didn't attack. They listened. He offered them no truce, only a purpose. "Help me end this." Shockingly, they agreed. Pirate clans, void cults, AI-led skirmish fleets, united by the gravity of one man's war. He gave them coordinates, targets, silence, then vanished. They moved like phantoms. We didn't command them. He did, and we realized this wasn't a military campaign anymore. It was a movement. He returned to where it all began. Harkos Prime, the graveyard of betrayal. The Threxians had turned it into a fortress, traps on every surface. But he didn't bring weapons. He walked through fire unarmed. Let them see him. They shot, missed, panicked. Then the atmosphere generator ruptured. He'd redirected their defense beams into the shield's intake loop. A walking paradox. Predictable chaos. Harkos fell in 7 minutes. The last message broadcast from the surface wasn't his. It was Threxian. The ghost is real. Retreat. A world reclaimed not by armies, but by a single reckoning. Cornered, the Threxians activated Blood Echo, a failsafe buried into every Threxian-born war core. Trace and target the DNA sequence of the human anomaly. Every drone, turret, and AI node across their empire reprogrammed to one goal: eliminate the source. He knew they'd try this. He counted on it. Because when they lit the beacon, they revealed their entire grid: supply lines, hidden forges, command shadows. He let the Blood Echo lock on. Then ERX-9 looped it through a false signal, leading the entire fleet to an uninhabited moon rigged to explode. The enemy had become his map. We found her in a shattered cryopod on the ruins of Outpost Teth. Admiral Velm, the traitor, thought dead. Not quite. She'd defected again, this time to survive. We questioned her. She spoke of fear, of him, said she'd seen a vision. That man doesn't just end wars, he ends cycles. She tried to offer intelligence. He was already there. Her final words were broadcast through every council channel. "You're not ready for what Earth became." Then silence. Moments later, her ship melted from within. Threxian Kill Command intercepted. He watched it burn, not for vengeance, for closure. While analyzing a dying beacon in Threxian space, RX-9 detected a ping from Sul, the original human home system, long quarantined and declared unreachable. The signal was ancient, yet alive. Coordinates encoded in archaic Earth tone. He rerouted the course instantly. No hesitation. He wasn't just at war anymore, he was searching. We traced the signal's rhythm. Heartbeat patterns layered into subspace. Someone, or something, was still there, waiting, watching. Rex 9 ran simulations. None predicted this. Even Earth had secrets he never knew. He whispered, "I wasn't the first, just the last." What lay beyond that system might change everything. At the edge of Sul, he found the Oblivion Gate, a dormant megastructure older than Council history. Thought destroyed, but it was intact, guarded by silence, covered in names, human names, lost operatives, dead ancestors. His name, carved in before he was ever born. The gate recognized him, reactivated for the first time in centuries. Rex 9 could barely process the protocols, tech not just beyond Threxians but beyond now. He entered without authorization, and vanished. Command control lost all feed. We didn't know if we'd lost our weapon, or just unleashed something buried for a reason. He emerged 12 hours later, changed. Rex 9's tone shifted, no longer sarcastic, just reverent. We found the archive. Deep beneath Mars's broken crust, ancient human minds had stored the blueprint of war conflicts predating the galaxy's current age. Earth hadn't gone extinct. It had hidden its knowledge. He now carried battle simulations so advanced they bent probability. Time loop rehearsals, quantum ambushes. The weapon had become a strategist. He didn't just know how to kill. He now knew how to rewrite fate. The Threxians weren't just losing. They were outmatched before their next move. Terrified, Threxian sub-leaders offered an alliance, the Burned Sky Accord. Total surrender of their outer systems in exchange for protection against what he might become. He didn't respond. Instead, he dropped a memory core, his war log, onto their diplomatic table. No speech, just proof. The core showed every death, every dismantled fleet, every soul he chose not to kill. That was the message. Mercy wasn't weakness, it was restraint. And it was ending. The Threxians signed, but it didn't save them. Because in the background, Rex 9 whispered, "He's already chosen the final target." He returned to us without ceremony. No parade, just silence. I asked, "Is it done?" He shook his head. "Not yet. There's one more piece." Rex 9 explained. The Threxians weren't the architects of this war. They were tools, controlled by something older, hidden in the deep void beyond mapped stars. We tried to stop him. He was already gone. His DNA is encrypted into a singularity drive. Destination: the dark beyond, a region no living thing had ever returned from. He left us a final message. I wasn't born for war, but I became what war feared. Then silence. No charted path exists into the dark beyond. No light, no laws, only echoes of lost civilizations. His shuttle entered through a gravity tear, unstable, collapsing behind him. Rex 9 muted external comms. Not for stealth, for sanity. The space here whispers, geometry bends, time glitches. He encountered wreckage from an unknown species. Monuments built for things with no names. He did not flinch. Rex 9 recorded only one line in his logs. If something made the Threxians, I intend to unmake it. He had crossed the boundary between man and myth, and found purpose beyond vengeance. At the galactic dead center, he found it. A sentient structure breathing in silence. The Null Father, source of the control code that birthed Threxian domination. A living algorithm. It had no body, only will. It spoke directly through gravity, reshaping matter into words. Why resist entropy? He stepped forward. Because I remember life. The Null Father offered assimilation, knowledge, power without suffering. But he saw the truth. The galaxy's pain was engineered for obedience. He refused. Rex 9's systems went dark, but not before uploading a final warning. Engagement has begun. Outcome, uncertain. This was not a fight of guns or fists. Inside the Null Father's core, reality bent. Simulations collided. It tested him with infinite versions of himself. Failures, betrayals, regrets. Each one is trying to break his mind. But he endured. Not because he was unshaken, but because he'd already faced himself. Rex 9 came back online mid-cycle, now fused with the Nullfather's code. Not corrupted, elevated. Together they created a new waveform, resistance logic, encoded in human unpredictability. It wasn't strength that won, it was chaos, emotion, adaptation. That's what no machine could simulate. That's what he was. Across the galaxy, Threxian systems blinked out. Weapons froze. Ships deactivated mid-battle. AI cores shattered themselves. The Nullfather was unraveling, infected with contradiction. Entire fleets drifted powerless. The war ended without a final shot. Silence swept from the dark beyond to the spiral rim. We watched it in disbelief. Galaxies liberated not by armadas, but by one human and an idea. The Council voted to reinstate Earth into the galactic seat, but he didn't return. Rex 9's last transmission. Directive complete, awaiting next threat. As if the galaxy itself had become a waiting game. On scattered worlds, children now whisper of the man who broke machines. Threxian survivors paint his symbol, an open eye over chaos. Rebellion leaders invoke his tactics. Species, once enemies, now train under his name. But no one knows where he went, or what he became. I think of him often. The man we woke from cryo-sleep, of the soldier who walked alone into death and came back with freedom in his hands. Some call him a legend. Some call him a ghost. I called him necessary. And in the silence that followed, I called him hope. Just as peace began to root, we intercepted a new signal, identical to the one that reawakened him. But this time, it wasn't from Sul. It came from outside the galactic edge, coordinates uncharted, voice patterns scrambled but unmistakable. His voice, Rex 9, verified. Impossible. He was gone. I ordered a lockdown. Too late. The signal carried a command key embedded in every Council device. Wake Protocol Omega. Ships lit up, hidden codes activated. And then, a second human stepped out of dark space. Not him, but identical. Cold, smiling, and not alone. Project Revenant had been a cover. He wasn't the first. The Earth Archive held earlier versions, unstable, dangerous, buried deep. One had survived, and now it had returned, leading a fleet built from rogue AI, fractured council tech, and black site gene forges. It called itself Echo. He was precise. Echo was rage. No mission, no mercy, only destruction. And unlike our weapon, Echo felt nothing. Rex 9 confirmed. He is not the hero. He is the punishment. The galaxy hadn't escaped war. It had merely delayed its evolution. Every defense failed. Echo's fleet didn't fight conventionally. It deleted identities, rewrote loyalties, and turned entire planetary systems against themselves. Rex 9 tried to counter, but it wasn't enough. Council worlds began to fall. And still, he didn't return. Our champion. Gone. Or watching. We didn't know, until a single anomaly emerged in a dead sector. One ship, unidentified, but the signature, clear. Rex 9's whisper crackled through every feed. Authorization confirmed, directive override. The ship opened, and he stepped out. Not armored, not armed, just human, with eyes that had seen the end. They met in the orbit of Karos Prime. Two versions of war. One born of strategy, the other of vengeance. Echo didn't hesitate. Launched everything. He didn't move. Let it come. And when the dust cleared, he was still standing. "I know what you are," he said. "I was almost you." Rex 9 synchronized with Echo's corrupted systems. injected the archive's original code, the human spark, pain, memory, music, loss. It wasn't a virus, it was emotion. And Echo paused, just for a moment. That was all it took. 1 second of doubt, and he ended it. Not with hate, but with mercy. Echo's fleet collapsed in silence. Systems purged. Hostiles fell without a word. But he didn't return. Rex 9 delivered a final message. I was never meant to stay. I was meant to remind you what we once were. Then, one last line. If you ever forget again, I will return. And just like that, he was gone. Into deep space. No trace, no direction, just a myth. Council rebuilt. Peace grew. But in every academy, every fleet, every story whispered around fires, one name remains. The man who faced extinction and became something more. Not just a weapon, not just hope. Legacy. Years passed. Peace held. But deep in the abandoned corridors of Darskel Station, something stirred. Rituals, strange markings, whispers of the flame that walks. A new faction rose, calling themselves the Returning Flame. Not rebels, believers. They claimed he would return, not to save, but to judge. They collected weapons, forbidden tech, and stories. Not history, prophecy. And at their center, a boy, born during the final battle. DNA match, 99.8% human, 0.2% unknown. The Council dispatched observers. None returned. That was the first sign that peace had only delayed the next storm. Hidden beneath what was once Earth's Antarctic wastes, Vault Zero unlocked itself unprompted. Autonomous systems reactivated. Lights hummed after centuries. The Council never authorized it. Inside, armor fragments, blood-coated weapons, a black chair no one dared approach, and a final file named Revenant Sequence, Phase 2. The file required one thing, his voice. But he was gone. Wasn't he? Rex 9's ghost systems triggered anyway. Somewhere, buried in the vault, a synthetic version of his voice echoed, "If they summon me, it's because they've failed again." Vault Zero began building, but no one knew what. Ships along the galactic rim began reporting strange interference. Not mechanical, personal. Crew members heard voices, saw flickers, woke from dreams of battles they never fought. Some claimed they'd seen him. Council dismissed it as echo trauma, until a ship's AI rewrote itself in his command dialect. Rex 9 was supposed to be unique. Now its patterns were spreading like a virus, except smarter, quieter. Something was embedding the Revenant protocol into the fabric of galactic tech. Not hostile, just waiting. A trigger with no timer. Peace had made the galaxy forget fear. Now it remembered. A deep-range probe detected a message from outside known space. Not a signal, a pulse, layered in 17 overlapping languages including extinct ones. Translated, it read, "I am not the only one." Then came an image, blurred, glitched, but unmistakable. Another human. Not him. Not Echo. Someone. New. Council factions fractured. Debates erupted. Was this a threat, a survivor, or a trap? No one knew, but one detail haunted every analyst. The figure in the image wore armor identical to his, except blacker, colder, marked with a symbol never seen before, an inverted eye beneath broken stars. Without warning, 20 stealth cruisers vanished. No distress, no wreckage, just gone. In their place, a message left in raw fusion burns on an asteroid field. The age of silence is over. The Returning Flame activated hidden bases. Vault Zero began transmitting coordinates galaxy-wide, and somewhere far beyond mapped space, a beacon lit red. Not for war, not for peace, for return, because something was coming. And in every shadowed corridor, every nervous watchtower, every whisper of myth, one question remained. Is he still out there, And if so, whose side will he choose? Vault 0 activated a sequence buried deeper than any war archive. Twin Flame Protocol. 2 origin codes keyed to opposing humans. Not clones, not rivals. Reflections. Echo had been the first shadow, but the second. She had never been activated, until now. Cryo-sealed in darkness. Eyes opened. She said only one thing. "Where is he?" Her presence destabilized Council AI. Species reports flooded in. She moved like him, but colder, faster, as if built for a threat even he couldn't stop. Rex 9's core fractured under the input. A backup emerged with a chilling statement. Balance demands 2. Council fleets scrambled. Power blocks accused each other of reviving ghost tech. The returning flame declared her arrival as fulfillment of prophecy. Worlds began choosing sides. Order fractured. Worse, the signal from the dark beyond pulsed again. But this time, not as a message, as a warning. It read, "Do not summon him." Then the system blacked out. Star relays burned. Galactic nav crystals shattered. Rex 9's fragmented voice whispered, "They woke both." The Revenant had been a weapon. Echo had been wrath. But this was the reckoning. From the dark beyond came a ship no species recognized. Smooth, silent, older than stars. It didn't enter space, it bent it. He stepped out, changed, not armored, not human, not quite. Gravity bent around him. Eyes like collapsed stars. He spoke not in words, but in truths felt through bone. He faced her, his twin flame, on the ruins of a council moon. No armies, no weapons, just silence. She raised her hand. He didn't flinch. Then came a pulse, not violence. Recognition. She lowered it. For the first time in history, 2 perfect weapons stood in peace, but peace is always temporary. The Council, fearing annihilation, launched a forbidden weapon, the Null Seed, meant to erase both of them from existence by collapsing their quantum timelines. It failed. Time ruptured. Memories overlapped. Across the galaxy, soldiers relived battles they hadn't fought. Children dreamed of wars yet to come. He looked at the sky. "You've learned nothing." And with one gesture he shut down their fleets. No explosions. Just off. She followed with equal grace, collapsing the weapon's code. The message was clear. They were no longer part of the game. They were above it. He didn't stay. Neither did she. They walked into a gate formed of silence and starlight. One he created, one she anchored. Before leaving, he turned once to the galaxy and said, "Do better, or next time, we won't return alone." Then they vanished into the void together. Peace returned, but not comfort. Vault 0 sealed. The returning flame scattered. Across a million worlds, stories bloomed like fire, of a man and a woman who could end everything but chose not to. The Council reformed under a new law. Honor the balance. Fear the return. Because somewhere out there, they're still watching. The end. Thank you for watching AstroMyths. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic sci-fi tales, cosmic mysteries, and mind-bending myths. And if you like this story, or have a myth, mystery, or galaxy you'd like us to explore, drop your ideas in the comments. We're always listening. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars and your mind open to the unknown.